The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Monday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN, 9:06 a.m. Monday morning. We got about 24 minutes to go until the start of trading, and we got markets in positive territory to kick things off. We're positive across the board right now. We've got the S&Ps positive by about 15 points, trading at 44.52. NASDAQ 100 positive by a bit. You're in the green by about 31 points this morning, 15,126. The Dow accelerating higher, up 165 points. That's about 0.5%. The Dow, 35,224. And the Russell, more volatile than the rest as usual. The Russell positive by 0.9%, 20 points in the positive right now at 2184. How about Bitcoin extending the gains back above 50,000? Quite the price point for Bitcoin. You back things up in terms of the run we had from 65,520. You make a low. Whether that's the low on June 22nd on Bitcoin of 28,800, you come down and just almost get to that level to a low of 29,215. And that was a low, folks, on July 20th. We're just over a month from there, and you trade from 29,000, and just like that, we're trading at 50,290. You throw a little Fibonacci retracement on this chart, we're bumping up against the 618. That would be a full 618 retracement of the run we had from 65,000 down to about 29,000 and change. We're bumping up against that level of 51,728. Be interesting to see how we trade when we get into that. Only about $1,500 now from that price point. All the cryptos trading higher. We got some PayPal news out there. They're going to begin accepting crypto in the UK, I believe, coming right now, I believe. Crude. How about crude catching a little bit of a bid? Jumping back to a 15-minute. There's your acceleration on crude. You come into the close on Friday, and we're at about $62. Last night, crude futures open, and we get a 61 handle. And just like that, we're trading higher, 64.34 in the price of crude. You jump to gold. Gold catching a bid as well. Look at this acceleration. We're up to 1806 right now. You're up 1.2% in gold, $22 in the positive. You catch a bid last night at about 9:45 p.m. You catch another acceleration. Really began about 4 a.m., but check out the run that we've had since about 8 a.m. You get a nice volume spike in gold at 8:30. We're up above 1,800. You put gold on a daily for some context here. Quite the rebound from where we were. You back it up a couple weeks ago. We had that flush to 1677. We come right down to these lows we had. I've been talking about it, whether it's the low at the end of March, whether it was the low early in March, right down to those levels basically on that Sunday night plunge a couple weeks ago. And since then, we're back at 1806 right now. Gold catching a bid this morning. You got silver up 49 cents. All the metals catching a bid. How about platinum up almost 2% right now? Palladium up 2.2% right now. And as we jump around, we'll take a look at the VIX. The volatility index right now trading. There we go. 1841. Interesting thing here, we're talking about lower highs, folks, continuing. I mean, you back things up. Let's just put it on a 5-year daily to get the full run. You back it up to the highs we had about 14 months ago now, 44.44. You back it up to where we were in October. You had a high of 41.16 in the VIX, and look at these lower highs, right? 37.51, 31.90, 28.93, 25.09. Now we get the high from last week, 24.74. That high from Thursday, just like that, we're back to 18.40. Short-lived fear in this market as we continue to catch a bid as they buy the dip. There's your VIX on a short-term basis last week. We get you high to 24.74, and just like that, like it never happened, we're back to 18.39. Now, here's what to consider, though. When you take a look at the S&Ps, we're trading at 44.52. Okay, that would correlate to basically right where we were last week, folks. Check it out, right? There's your open last Monday. How about that? Just forget about all the action last week. We trade up to 44.76. You dive down to 43.47. Folks, that's a 130-point move in the S&Ps. But guess what? We're opening exactly where we were last week. Now, I bring it up because you take a look at the VIX, right? Not quite where we were last week. You look where we opened at about a 17 handle. So still elevated premium. It would be, you could see why in terms of a little bit of volatility last week creeping up. We got Fed minutes last week. We got Jackson Hole virtual event going on this week for Chairman Powell and the Fed. That will be Thursday and Friday. I believe Chairman Powell, he's got a speech Friday, maybe 10 a.m. Eastern time. So all eyes will be to that conference virtually going on Thursday and Friday. We got the dollar index. We're down 31 ticks at 93.17. So you're seeing weakness in the dollar. That's putting a bid, whether it's in gold, crude, across the board. And let's jump to notes and bonds as we wrap up the full summation. We got the 10-year positive by 1 tick. Not a huge move, but you look, we were lower to about a low. What's our low there? 133.30. So we're up a little bit from that low, but still relatively unchanged right now. And you're talking about a yield in the 10-year. We've been floating around 1.25% for a while now, 1.26%. You take a look, and I say a while, I'm talking about maybe 4 or 5 days, which is remarkable. But yeah, settling in at about 1.25%. Be interesting to see how the trades this week as we come into Jackson Hole. Chairman Powell, he'll have some questions, I'm sure, having to do with the reaction to maybe the Fed minutes going on last week, as he, I'm sure, looks to calm the markets just a bit. Okay, jumping around to what else we got going on in the market. Let's start it off with, how about Bitcoin? 50,000, right? Highest level in 3 months. Cryptos, you have a high of 64,000. Now, it's interesting here, PayPal. Let's take a look at PayPal and Coinbase, of course. They've all been rocking. P-A-Y-P-L, PayPal. You're up about $3 this morning in the pre-market. There's your action accelerating higher. You put this thing on a 3-year weekly to see the full run we've had. You come into COVID at about 108. You dive down to 82. Since then, it's been a one-way rocket ship to higher prices. You do pull back on their recent earnings. To put that on a daily, there's your drop out of bed. We were above 300. You're down to 272. The news for PayPal launches its cryptocurrency service in the UK. They're going to let British customers buy, hold, and sell digital currencies starting this week. First international expansion of the crypto product since it launched in the U.S. last year. PayPal, one of the many firms taking a leap into the mostly unregulated world of cryptocurrencies. Now you got Coinbase accelerating higher as well today, as to be expected, with Bitcoin back above 50,000. Coinbase 257. I believe the reference price on that was no, excuse me, that's Friday's action. We're going to open at 265. There we go. Still, though, in the context of where this chart has been, right, we were just pushing 294 as of August 11th on this equity. We're going to open at about 265, so we're just back to where we were at the beginning of last week in Coinbase as they look to open up. Now, Coinbase, as I mentioned, reference price about 250. Well, you want to consider here, Coinbase, right? You're still talking about, right, even at these prices, a $56 billion company. We jump over to PayPal. For some context as well, we're dealing with some juggernauts here, folks. How about a $323 billion company? My goodness, but probably rightfully so. When you look at whether it's financial tech, the ability to supplant kind of traditional finance and banks, I mean, folks, there's no reason why we're getting charged the fees we are sometimes in banks, right? It takes the amount of time it takes to send money along. I mean, these companies, whether it's PayPal, whether it's Square, has been on a tear as well. You get Square up about $3 in the pre-market as well. You jump over to Square, not quite the size of the company that PayPal is, but we're still talking about a $122 billion company for Square. Now, this thing, you want to take a look. We put this thing on a 3-year weekly. How about going from a price point of $32 at the lows of COVID? You come into 2020 at a price point of $61 about, 65, somewhere in there, and we're pushing 266 on Square. It's a good segment, good industry to be in. S&P's up 15 points. It's 9:15 on Monday morning, folks. Stay tuned. We'll take a look at some of the equities that are moving this morning. We'll be right back.
Golden ratios give shape to everything in our world, represented in the Fibonacci sequence. These special numbers define the patterns that make up our universe. Not even markets can escape the omnipotence of these ratios. Larry Pesavento is a 45-year market veteran who has published nearly a dozen books on the powerful patterns we find in nature and their relationships with the ever-elusive markets. Larry's newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7, will teach you to harness the power of these natural golden ratios in order to create successful trades. Fibonacci 24/7 is designed to teach the tools you need to identify and act on these undeniable and reoccurring patterns. Sign up for Larry's newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7, and you will also receive free access to his trading webinar, Trading Strong Trending Markets. Try out Larry's newsletter risk-free. All of TFNN's newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
What's separating you from the most successful men and women on Wall Street? That's right, information. Having all the information gives us the perspective we need to place the right trades at the right time. The TAS Profile Scanner is the premier market profile-based scanner. Powered by its acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner instantly filters over 2,500 plus global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. This powerful suite of tools leverages instant trade filtering and strategy formulation to show you emerging trades before they happen. For a limited time, you can save $100 off your first month by using the promo code UPGRADE, and you still get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Level the playing field with the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find under the Services tab at TFNN.com. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. We have markets continuing to melt upward. We got the S&Ps right now. I mean, you look at the action we had last night. You open in the futures at a price point basically unchanged of 44.35. You melt upward till about midnight, and we've just kind of been chopping around at that area, 44.53 in the S&Ps. We got 11 and a half minutes to go until the opening bell. Let's jump around to some of the equities making moves this morning. We're going to start it off with Boeing. So Boeing trading a little bit higher. We're up from 212 to 216. News on Boeing. They're teaming up with Richard Branson's, their satellite company, Virgin Orbit. Now, I got this one up here as well. They're going to go public through a SPAC at $3.7 billion. Branson's always got something going on. Now, we got to jump to Virgin Galactic because it all ties together, folks. You know, he was out there pumping shares out, selling shares in this company many times. I've talked about it before. Nothing wrong with it. He put a lot of equity into this company. You drive the shares up to a level that's probably overvalued. You have one of the founders pulling money out of that company. Pay attention when that happens, folks. It's been quite a roller coaster in this equity. There was no greater promotional event for any company. I remember watching it when Branson went into space. Now, he was the first one that went into space, right, ahead of Bezos. And it was like, especially on CNBC, they had reporters there talking like they were hyperventilating like it was the greatest thing they've ever seen since we walked on the moon. Not the case, folks. Yes, it's cool. Yes, recreational space travel. Sure, why not? It's not some forefront of science that's going to, change everything we've done, like when we first stepped on the moon the first time ever. Point being, it was all promotion. I remember the weekend. It was a 24-hour promotional material for this company. Branson's on there, the whole deal. I was joking with friends saying, I can't believe the way they're talking about this, man. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to watch. But it's not transformational the way they made it out to be. Nonetheless, the stock followed it, and then it did not. We're down to 24.53 from a high above 55 when they went into space. The low there, 14.27. Now, he pulled money out of there because he's got other things going on. He's going to go the Virgin Orbit, going to go public through a SPAC at $3.7 billion valuation. The company is combining with Special Purpose Acquisition Company, Next Gen Acquisition Corp. II. Now, to bring it back to Boeing, as it goes, they're going to invest in the SPAC merger planned later this year by Branson's satellite company, Virgin Orbit. Plans to merge with blank check company Next Gen Acquisition, and that one, of course, jumping 6%. You take a look at Boeing. Boeing shares, as I talked about, up about $4 right now. And Boeing, you know, this one it's one to keep an eye on, folks, and maybe this is the point. We've tried to get into this equity and gotten stopped out on my newsletter, Rocket Equities and Options. If you'd like to try it out, folks, check it out on the newsletter tab on the front page of TFNN. There's your 3-year weekly. You know, we're bumping up yet again to that lower boundary line. Maybe this is where Boeing catch a bid. The tough part about going into equities right now is that, man, we're sitting at pretty lofty highs right now. You saw what could happen when we get a little taper tantrum. First time we saw in the Fed minutes, we had a lot of volatility coming down the line in the next few months. Interesting to see how that shakes out with Chairman Powell's remarks coming Friday this week, Thursday and Friday. Jackson Hole Virtual Summit going on for the Fed. Boeing up about $4 pre-market on that news that they may be teaming up with Branchin and his satellite company Virgin Orbit. Excuse me. Okay, jumping around, what else we got going on in terms of equities? Going down the line, we talked about Coinbase. They're higher. Looks to be Pfizer and BioNTech. It seems to be that the FDA approval for their vaccine may come as soon as today, multiple reports. I would not be trading this looking for a pop because it's already priced in, folks, okay? The news is out there. This is going to get approved this week. It's happening. The news is out there. Should not be surprising. We're dealing with billions of shots. It's almost incomprehensible to the human mind to comprehend billions of shots. There's only, what, 6-7 billion people on the whole planet. We're up to like 4 or 5 billion doses of the vaccine given. That will gain approval, and that is going to lead to more companies and more businesses probably feeling more comfortable, because the catch line is it's a quote-unquote experimental drug. I don't agree with that, but it is approved on an experimental basis, fast track, right? Not experimental, whatever the term is. It's going to get legitimate approval probably this week. So Pfizer, you're a little bit positive in the pre-market, but I wouldn't bank on any type of an acceleration on that news, folks. That is priced into this equity in a big way. The market knew that was coming, so it will come today. This might be a case of buy the rumor, sell the news. Look at the run-up we've had, folks, okay? Be interesting to see how this shakes out, as that news is priced into this equity. Excuse me, fighting off a little bit of a cold. Kids back in school. Thankfully, it doesn't seem to be COVID. Took an at-home rapid test. Just a little bit of a cold, as is the case. Those do exist as well. But yeah, Pfizer. So be careful out there as this thing's accelerated from $40. We're up 20% on this equity just in the last month almost alone. Okay? People in the know, folks, all right? They know that in the last month this is coming. It's not a coincidence you drive from 40 up to 50 in the last month. It's going to come out this week. Be careful. We just saw what happened in Virgin Galactic when it accelerated into the news event. The news event was Virgin Galactic was they go into space, and we saw what happened afterwards. Nonetheless, encouraging news as they look for regulatory approval sometime this week. All right, continuing the run of stocks making moves. Trillium. Nice little Massachusetts company up there, I believe. They're going to be purchased by Pfizer, keeping with the Pfizer theme here. Pfizer is going to buy the portion of the cancer therapy specialist that doesn't already own. $2.26 billion or $18.50 a share. Now, Trillium's rocking in a big way. They closed at $6.09 on Friday. How about that one? Pfizer had invested $25 million in Trillium in September of 2020. Shares nearly tripled. Yeah, as would be the case. That's what's going to happen when you get an offer to buy it at $18.50, which is triple the price it was trading at. TRIL is their symbol. It's been quite a slide. And look at that. I mean, remarkable, right? You got Pfizer. I mean, we're all buyers and sellers, folks. It all matters in terms of what we're looking at. And Pfizer probably said, hey, this thing's at $6. It was just trading at $20 last year. Now, remember, that's when they invested, all right? Going back, that's when they invested $25 million in September of 2020. Well, I guess maybe that was the news here. Maybe that was the news that drove them higher, from $10 up to 14, made it to 20. They're even getting a better deal at $6, but there's your pre-market action up to about $17.72. Looks to be that seems to be priced in, that anytime the buyout price is $18.50, you're trading a hair under it. Yes, it's not guaranteed to happen, but the market pricing in that pretty much is assured that they're either going to get sold at $18.50 or that or thereabouts. All right, jumping down the line, what else we got going on? GM, they're dealing with some woes with the Chevy Bolt. I think this is the third time that they've had a recall in the last 9 months. There's your chart for GM. You're down about 60 cents. No huge dramatic action here. Expanding the recall of the Chevy Bolt electric car to include newer models, a move that will cost the automaker an additional $1 billion with a B dollars. it will address an issue that can increase the risk of battery fires. We all know these electric vehicles, the batteries, the fires, whether we see it in Tesla or whatnot, they're a problem. And GM has a problem with their Chevy Bolt. I believe this is the third recall that they've had to expand on that Chevy Bolt having to do with the batteries. Not what you want to hear, folks. I love electric cars. I don't have one. I would love to have one in the future. I do not want one that might cause a fire. I mean, to put it simply, right? Jumping over to GM, you're a little bit lower. We'll jump over to Tesla shares today. Tesla a little bit higher with the market, up by about $6 from $6.80 to $6.86. All right, what else we got? Uber. So we have some Uber in my newsletter. This one's been quite a slide to negative prices. We've been in it for a while, so we still have profits in this thing, but man, we've given back some. No shame in admitting the truth, right? We're gonna take a look at this when we get back here. Now, Uber, we're gonna open at $39. We're already rebounding in this, and this has to do with, we'll give a little teaser, a California judge calling the law unconstitutional that had to do with gig workers that they voted on just recently. Stay tuned, we're gonna get into the Uber, ride sharing, and we got the open coming up when we get back. Stay tuned, folks.
Are you having fun trading the markets but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den Trading Room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets open, and we get the S&Ps right now up about 20 points. We got the NASDAQ 100 up 40 points, Dow up 185. All the markets catching a little bit of a bid. We have got a chart of Uber up here. So Uber down about 1.2%. You see the bid it's caught, though, from the lows we had pre-market of 37.62. We're up to 39.45. Now, here would be my take in this, folks, is that you had one of the most liberal states out there California, if not the most liberal state. Massachusetts, my home state, up there as well. But point being, you had those citizens, okay, voting on an amendment. Now, let's get into how they surmise it here, is that you got Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, all of them trading a little bit lower. Gig economy, stocks, of course, taking a hit. California judge ruled the state's gig workers law was unconstitutional. California voters had approved a ballot measure last November allowing those companies to treat workers as independent contractors rather than employees. The companies lobbied extensively for the passage of the measure, plan to appeal. Here's what I sprinkle onto this one, and this is my own personal bias, my own personal take. Number one, that's probably going to go to the Supreme Court. It would just make sense. It's an important decision, regardless of how the court was shaped. It's pretty conservative right now, but regardless, that's something that's going to be a common theme across many states. It would make sense that something like that goes to the Supreme Court. I would find it tough right now, especially with this court, for them to overrule California voters, very liberal state, to say that those employees have to be. You can't even vote on the fact that they're gig workers, that they have to be ruled as employees and not as contractors. And here's the thing I just don't understand, folks, myself, is that just from a business perspective, all right, and I understand the societal need for livable wages, okay? They're two different conversations. I know they're intertwined. But by the very pure definition of a contract worker, it seems pretty clear-cut that those companies come pretty close. And when you have citizens of that state voting for that, a very liberal state, you had a pretty conservative Supreme Court, it would make sense that that should not be too intimidating. And I imagine that's going to make its way to the courts. It's probably going to make its way to the Supreme Court eventually. Nonetheless, that's going to throw a hamper in their California business, I'm sure. Not sure how that's going to shake out. But you're seeing kind of happening what I was talking about, 37.62. You're up to 39. Now, man, this stock, you want to see this thing, to back it up on the 3-year weekly, this is a critical area for Uber. You took a look at where we were, down to the lows of 1371. You accelerate to 6405. We're back right to the 50% retracement. You see the run we had in November when the efficacy of the vaccines was first introduced. Now we're bumping up. This area that we're at, we'll call it $39, all right, is basically an area that we had seen resistance when we were first trying to break higher out of COVID. All right, you accelerated to this area 14 months ago in June of 2020. You accelerated to that area yet again in September before we got the vaccine efficacy. This stock takes off, almost doubles in price from last November to the highs of 64.05. We've backed down to 39.14. It's been quite a quick slide, though. You back it up to April, and we were trading at $58, let alone you back it up, and we were at $52 as recently as June 28th in the last 2 months. Uber taking a hit, but I would not get too caught up. Now listen, there's every argument to be made that there is weakness in this stock. We need some strength in this thing. We need some buyers. The earnings it just had, not quite what you wanted. There's some volume on that bar. It did reject, but it rejected, and then just like that, in the next couple of weeks, you slid lower. But I wouldn't get caught up in these types of rulings on a statewide basis, because when you call something unconstitutional, folks, the one court that gets to decide unconstitutionality is the Supreme Court. So I imagine that's probably going to make it there at some point, especially after this ruling. And it should. Anytime you got states voting on something, and then you have judges in that state calling it unconstitutional, that's kind of the reason why we have a Supreme Court, folks. They rule on constitutionality of laws. So I imagine they'll have a say in this, and I imagine that with the way the court is made up, that I would find it hard-pressed for that court to overrule state voters on an issue like this, that many reasonable people, and that's why a state like California with just super liberal, even the voters in that state, it's always interesting, folks, all right? Things are so partisan recently, right, that if you have a candidate that stands for certain things, each party might not vote for them, but if you isolate those individual ideas, as in this case, you're isolating the idea of gig workers getting classified as contractors. California voters are even like, hey, that makes sense, all right? I know that the Democratic model is that we got to protect workers, etc., but we're all reasonable, folks, in the same way that Florida just pushed together a $15 minimum wage. Well, $15 minimum wage is like a hot topic for so many people. It's this liberal idea, supposedly, that takes a lot of heat from Republicans. If you try and get that passed with a Democrat in Florida, that'd be very difficult. You isolate that idea by itself, you put it on the ballot for $15, and even a red state like Florida, and red state it's been a red state. You could call it a toss-up state. It's a little bit red right now. Says, yeah, we want $15 minimum wage. So I find it tough on this one on Uber. And yes, I'm biased. Yes, we have some Uber in my shares. But look at it, folks, all right? Give it the time and look what's happening. The market's agreeing with me before I even finish my sentences. We're back to almost flat right now. If you were selling this equity, that's unfortunate on that news as it traded down to 37.62 and Uber's almost flat already. Let's jump around to some of the other stocks that might be hit. DoorDash, a little bit of a different story. They don't have as much going for them in terms of how they could compete if they really get hampered in that. They're down 3.7%. Lyft probably rebounding like Uber. Yeah, Lyft rebounding down about 1.6% so far on their news. All right, continuing down the line of what we got going on, some of the Chinese stocks catching a bid this morning. Interesting to follow these. You got Didi. Well, not so much, giving it back a bit. They're up about 0.4%. What was the other one? JD. JD's out with their numbers. Strong numbers for JD, up 2.4%. I mean, there's obviously the ability to make profits in these equities, folks. They are jumping around in a pretty epic fashion right now, but that is one that I have a hard time quantifying the risks of. And when I have a hard time quantifying the risks of any of these equities, I mean, look at Alibaba. You just dropped $4 from the open, from 160 to 156. The market, not quite sure, folks, if these stocks are investable is the term that gets used lately. Is that a stock that looks strong to you, folks, Alibaba? No, it does not, right? You back it up to Didi. Is that a stock that looks strong to you, folks? No. No, it's not. Be careful in these Chinese stocks, folks, because you have a dictator over there, Xi. He's planning for the next 25 years when he's going to be in control of China. He's not planning for the market reaction over the last 2 months for Chinese stocks. He's making sure that everybody in that country, including Jack Ma and every big tech entrepreneur that wants to push out some shares to an American index, that's not how it's going to work. There's one man alone that commands attention in that company, and that is President Xi, and we're seeing it happen. So I would be staying away from those equities. Doesn't mean that a bottom might be eventually. China's an economic powerhouse. They need it. But right now might not be the time at all. And look at these markets, folks. S&P, we might see an all-time high by the time I end this program. We got the S&Ps right now accelerating higher. We're up 27 points right now, trading at 44.64. We're within 13 points. How about that, folks? In the span of a week, we're going to get 130 points to the downside, and we might get it all back within the span of 1 week. Remember, that high was towards the end of the close on Friday, and we're climbing up to those levels. NASDAQ 100, we're catching a bid across the board. Just remarkable action. That's an all-time high, folks. We just made in the NASDAQ 100. The Dow, right near that level. We're at 35,296. We're about 250 points from all-time highs. Russell's got some work to do, but it's accelerating higher, up by 1.3% right now in the Russell. And we jump to gold, back above 1,800 at 1,806. Stay tuned, folks. We got a lot more to cover. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. And so, as expected, the news hits the tape. The FDA grants full approval to the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID shot, clearing the path for more vaccine mandates. So it was under emergency authorization at first. I believe it's over 200 million shots. Yeah, since then, over 204 million Pfizer shots have been administered since the emergency use authorization. Now it is granted full approval. All right, you hear this oftentimes. Experimental, it's not experimental, it's not emergency use, folks. It's fully cleared now by the FDA. Over 200 million shots are given. Now you get into the Florida numbers, folks, all right? You all hear them. This is the report that came out Friday. We only get weekly reports from our governor, all right? 150,000 positive cases last week. That ends as of Friday. Now, the only rosy light here would be that you could say maybe we're peaking out on a weekly basis. We're down marginally from 151,000. You're still talking about, what, 38,000 cases a week. Now, what I'm going to focus on here, folks, is the vaccine. Yes, there are strong numbers in this vaccine age groups. Still pretty staggering when you get into the numbers that you look of people in Florida in their 50s. You're talking about almost 3 out of 10 have made the choice not to be vaccinated. I don't get it, folks. Even 60 to 64, 1 out of 5 people not vaccinated. Okay, I do not get it. Hospitals around here, folks, all right, to bring to fruition how real this is. Okay, you have hospitals. So first it starts out, you got Lakeland Regional. This is just a hospital in the area that I live in, okay? Many hospitals experiencing the same thing. I found some good information just to convey some of the reality of what's going on here, okay? Because unvaccinated people like to say it's a personal choice. Those personal choices are going to cost innocent people their lives. It's happening right now. It's not my fault. I'm not the one that's responsible for bearing the truth, okay? Unvaccinated people are filling up hospitals. They're going to cause innocent people to die that can't get surgeries that they may need, all right? We're at the point in Florida, folks, that elective surgeries mean much more than cosmetic surgeries. Just so you're aware, elective surgeries can include things like mastectomies for cancer, okay? We know people in our orbit who have unfortunately stage 2 breast cancer that cannot get a double mastectomy because they're not doing those types of surgeries right now because unvaccinated people, by a majority, are filling up hospitals. So first you have that they shut down all elective surgeries with overnight stays. They're trying to make sure they can do what they can. Well, that lasted about a week, folks, a week and a half. Now that same hospital, all elective surgeries, even including same-day surgeries, all right? Same-day elective surgeries. Now, within this, okay, they are saying procedures for serious life-threatening conditions are not impacted at this time. But I encourage you to think about, folks, all right? We know people, it's happening to them all the time. You got people, I mean, imagine that you know somebody that has stage 2 breast cancer, God forbid, unfortunately, okay? That person cannot get the surgery that their doctor wants to give them because you got unvaccinated people, majority filling up the hospitals. Now you say, okay, well, how do you know there's all the unvaccinated? Because all I hear is people talking about this. Well, here's a quick visual representation, folks, okay? Visuals are the way to go. They're often very representative, and they do a good job of explaining things quicker than words can. All right, this hospital, this is out as of Wednesday, Lakeland Regional. Again, I'm just picking a hospital, folks, all right, because they put out some good data out here that really shows you the truth of who is filling up hospitals, causing these patients to not be able to get care that they might need. Of the 421 patients hospitalized with COVID in the Lakeland Regional Health, 65 vaccinated, 365 unvaccinated. There's your visual representation, blue versus yellow, with the yellow vaccinated, the blue unvaccinated. You talk about the ICU, 53 patients in the ICU, 47 unvaccinated to 6 vaccinated, and on ventilators, 47 unvaccinated to 4 vaccinated. So I hear the talk all the time, and I'm done with it, folks. I'm done with it, okay? When people talk about unvaccinated people are making choices for their own, people who are innocent are going to be dying. And it's happening in my community. They can't get the surgeries that they want to get, and it's only getting worse, and it's very frustrating. So I encourage you to look at that data, and if you're out there and you're one of those people that's not getting vaccinated, okay, you can make that choice, but don't complain about not having responsibility for what's going on, folks, because the numbers do not lie. They do not lie. And I encourage you, if you're in that group, for the safety of yourself, for the safety of the people around you, and for the safety of the community that we are in. If you're one of these people that haven't done it, folks, get out there and get vaccinated, because now it's got full approval. It's not an emergency use. It's not going to get said anymore, and the numbers don't lie, folks. Hospitals are shutting down surgeries that are necessary. They might be called elective, but they are necessary, and it's happening because of these numbers right there. It's a sad truth, folks. Not enough people really know about how sad it is. All right, back to the markets. Positive prices. We got the S&P sitting right near all-time highs at 44.62. Let's jump back to some of the equities making moves as we jump down the line here. Robinhood, they're added to coverage over there. So they're talking about a lot of the equities in terms of the analysts, talking about Robinhood. They're up 3.6% today. They are going to start trading with cryptos, folks, in a big way. You take a look at Robinhood. Their last numbers were all about crypto on this equity in a big way. Not surprising that when you get Bitcoin back above 50,000, you got Ethereum. Let's see where Ethereum's trading at. Yeah, up a bit, up 2.6%. You know, if I was going to take a position in a long-term position in a crypto, it might be Ethereum. I have no positions in crypto whatsoever right now, folks. I kind of wish I had dabbled a little bit in Ethereum when it got down to these lows. Doesn't mean it's not going to get back up there. Doesn't mean we might never see them again. But Ethereum might be the one. Bitcoin could as well. But I'm not sure I'd be buying at 3,300 right now in Ethereum after we were just trading at a low of 1,700. If you're going to do it, though, folks, pick some cash and make sure whatever you put in any of these is 100% risk capital, because as we all know, it could be gone tomorrow, whether you're talking about Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever it is. It doesn't matter, folks. It's nothing more volatile right now than cryptos. All right, jumping around to other stories I have out here in terms of what we got up here. How about Target? They're going to add more than 100 Disney shops to stores as holiday season approaches. Now, Disney we have in my newsletter as well. A little bit biased there, of course. Disney catching a little bit of a bid, up about 1%. You take a look at the 15 minutes, pull back a bit. That may just be with the market. Not sure it ties into this. But the point being, interesting how some of these stores, right, the innovation taking place. We talked about last week that Macy's is going to be bringing Toys R Us. They're going to have stores in stores, Toys R Us stores in Macy's to drive traffic. Maybe you're getting moms in there that are coming in to buy a toy. That's a low margin item, but guess what? Before they make it out the door, they might buy a high margin item for some clothing, etc. Target, they're not messing around either. 100 Disney shops at stores for the holiday season, more than 160 by the year end. Mall-like destinations. They're trying to, scaled down Starbucks, Ulta, and Disney. They're going to have all these little stores within the stores. It's so amusing to see how the landscape is shifting of a department store. Even somebody like Target, who is not like a Macy's, all right? Target is making use of their square footage a lot better than Macy's was, but even Target is going to have yourself a Starbucks, an Ulta, a Disney, somewhere the corner of their store to make use of that square footage and to get you in the door in a big way. And as they talk about Macy's on that one as well. Disney catching a little bit of a bid there. Target has been a one-way rocket ship, man. This equity, there's your daily. Let's put it on a 3-year weekly for the full context of the run this thing has had, from under 100 last year to 253. And let's check out Macy's, how they're trading today. Macy's up another 2% on the heels of their acceleration last week, trading higher as well. All right, folks, stay tuned. We'll come back to finish up the show. We got the S&P up 26 points. We're bumping up 13 points away from all-time highs. Stay tuned, folks. I'll be right back.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the Opening Call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave! Sign up for the Opening Call risk-free today.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps right now up 28 points. That's 0.6% in the positive. NASDAQ 100 accelerating higher. We're up by 0.7. You got the Dow up 0.6 as well. And we got the Russell up 1.5% right now. Let's jump around to some of the FANG stocks. You got Amazon catching a bit, up 1.4% on the open. How about Microsoft last week? Maybe digesting a little bit of those gains. Microsoft accelerating from 287 up to 306. In the pre-market, right now we're barely negative, but man, that thing was a rocket ship last week. Not surprising. Thursday and Friday alone, you were up, what is that, $17 in a $280 equity. And nonetheless, we're backing off a bit, jumping around to some of the others. Google shares this morning accelerating higher with the market, up 0.8%. We jumped to Facebook, up 0.7%. It's across the board right now in a big way. Uber actually making it into the positive now after that news, up about 0.2% over there. And jumping around to some of the equities I take a look at. What else we got moving out here today? The Boeing and the airline industry is kind of moving. There's Boeing up a little bit, up about 3%, and the airline's catching a bit as well. Delta up 2.8% right now. You got United up 3% right now. Domestically, Southwest up 2.5%. JetBlue shares 3.8%. We'll take a look at Carnival. Carnival shares up 4.2%, catching the bid. Maybe a Max Payne situation subsiding over there, but we've seen that before. Let's check out Norwegian. NCLH up 4.4% over there for Norwegian. Going to be an interesting day in the markets. We got Jackson Hole Virtual Summit coming up later this week, Thursday and Friday. Chairman Powell, I believe his remarks are going to be Friday. Are we there? I think I had an article up here right now. I believe we got Friday. He'll be speaking. There it is, live streamed at 10 a.m. Eastern. Fed Chairman Powell set to deliver his speech, streamed 10 a.m. Eastern time on Friday. So I'll be able to give you a little bit of a teaser as we come into that on Friday from 9 till 10. And as they say, investors, they'll be listening closely. Not surprising there. And what do we got as we wrap it up? We got the 10-year right now, 1.268%. Pretty calm action in the 10-year. We'll finish it up with the VIX this morning. And we get the volatility index dropping as the market proceeds to all-time highs. Keep in mind, though, folks, VIX sitting a little bit elevated as we get all your all-time highs. Thanks so much for tuning in, starting your day with me, folks. Stay tuned. We got live programming all day today. Basil Chapman coming up with the Tiger Technicians Hour. Fast Market at 11. Larry Pesavento at noon. Steve Rhodes at 1. Dave White at 2. Tom O'Brien, my dad, live at 3. Thanks so much, folks. Have a great Monday. Stay tuned.